morning, everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a lovely morning. I just woke up a little bit ago. I had my morning coffee, and as you can see behind me, I don't know if you can really see it. Booger is on the couch and she's enjoying the sunlight coming to the window. She's doing what cats do. They love warm spots in the house, whether it's a fireplace or a warm spot in the window. So she found a spot on the couch. Hey, Booger. That's the baby. There she is. Kind of hard to see her because it's so bright. There she is. There's my girl enjoying the sun before it gets too hot. I know. I love you too. Ow. There's a reason why her name is Booger, because she's a booger. She's just a booger. You're a booger, aren't you? Yes, I'm doing the cat voice. She knows it's exclusively for her. Ow! Biting on me. Love bites. Love bites. If I could measure her love in bites, I guess she loves me a lot because she bites on me a lot. Ow! Anyway, how are you? Hope you guys are having a lovely morning. And if you have a cat, they're love biting on you. The way that mine bites on me. So, yesterday, I did a react to a gentleman on YouTube by the name of James Brightman. And I can't believe I haven't found him earlier, although I have found out after doing my react that other reactors have been spotlighting him. I didn't know that. I guess I'm late to the table. Why didn't y'all tell me about him? It's okay though. YouTube recommended James, and I checked out his content, and now I'm subbed up, and I adore his take on things. I love his calm demeanor and the bit of cheek that he brings to his content. Like, I really adore his style. He's got a great style. So James just did a react to Chantal's mukbang, if that's what you want to call it. I call it a yuckbang because it's straight up yuck, where she ate 4 trays of desserts. And I told y'all I am not going to react to that video alone because it's straight trash, and I knew why she did it. She did it to get a rise out of Girl World. She did it to basically flip her diabetes and everyone else a middle finger. Although eating all that food, whether it's desserts or not, the only person it's hurting is herself. You know, like, she could eat 1,000,000 calories in the world. None of us are going to be affected physically. She's just doing the most to cater to the feedy people. It's pretty obvious that she's going all in with that and trying to get a response out of people. I do remember that when she did the video, almost as soon as she did the video, she didn't even wait to go live. And that's something that Chantal has done in the past. She'll do a video or something that is inflammatory, and then she wants to capitalize on it by going live and trying to get the hate super chats. And that's something that should be known. That back in the day when Chantal was in her heyday, she would do the most in her live. Not so much to be shocking, because after a while we stopped being shocked. But one of the ways that she made money was she would just do whatever she could to make us upset, to make us angry, because she was hoping for super chats that people would want to send out of pure aggravation. In other words, take the anger, turn it inside out, and make it profitable. Because people would just get so angry at her that they'd want to get her attention. So they would send a hate super chat. And for Chantal, it doesn't matter if you send her a super chat out of if you love her, if you hate her. It doesn't matter because the money all goes in the bank. So she's kicking up the dust to get people aggravated, hoping for those hate super chats. I am happy to report that a lot of people are catching on to what she's doing, and they're not responding that way. So, failed attempt at making more money, Chantal. Failed attempt. And I'm glad you keep failing. You keep making the bad choices and failing at everything. You want to be a winner, but you'll always get the L instead. So I'm going to react to Chantal's dessert video with James. Between the two of us, what do we bring into the table? Well, James and I have both dealt with food issues. He's dealt with uh, BED, and I have dealt with BED as well. Both of us have knowledge with the feedy world. Okay, so there's that aspect. Uh, he just jumped into girl world and has said so. I've been around for quite a while. So you're in trouble today, Chantal. You're in trouble today, ma'am. All that talk of, you don't know what you're talking about, and you can't speak on that. Well, James is also a type 2 diabetic. So he has knowledge about diabetes. So between the two of us today, you are in trouble because we're speaking from a place of knowledge. Not that any other reactor doesn't speak from a place of knowledge. There are a great many girl world reactors that have extensive knowledge bases of you, Chantal, and speak from such, as well as bring the humor and wit to the table and the sarcasm. And I do adore sarcasm and cheek immensely. But yeah, it's going to be fun today. And I would only react to this video with you, James, because I need some help with this one. I just can't. I can't. I know that you've said in your previous video that you can watch Chantal indulge in the food and it doesn't bother you. I can't do it. I can't. I just can't. But I'm glad that you've reached a place where you can. So I'm going to react to it with you. So I hope you guys enjoy the reaction that I do with James today. And you can please check out his channel down below. The original video link is in the description. And sub up to him because he's great. I would like to offer a bit of a personal message to James. I don't know if he's going to watch this video, but it's something of note, James, since you just hopped into girl world a little bit. James, Chantal's a big old meanie. She is just a big old meanie head, especially with smaller channels. She's a bit of a bully, you see. Chantal's going to take notice of you at some point. The buzz is getting around about you with the bigger reactors covering you. She's going to hear your name and she's going to check you out. And you're going to know that she has found you and she's watching you when you look in your comments and you see some rather snarky comments from strange names such as Sarah Lee or Charles Reed. Those are two of her favorites. She's got over 100 sock accounts and she likes to use them. She will never come in as Foodie Beauty and make the comments because she doesn't want any trouble for her channel. It's always going to be under sock accounts, but she likes to be a big old meanie head with the smaller channels because she feels she can just push people around and bully them around, especially if they're a smaller channel. She doesn't really go after the bigger channels too terribly much because she knows they're too big and she can't push them around as much. But she does like to try to intimidate the smaller channels, especially if she sees that they're starting to get popular and word is getting around. She might have some of her beezers come over to your channel, or she might come over to your channel. So just be on the lookout for that. The Chantal has nothing to do in her day but run around on YouTube and Twitter looking to see what people are saying, using her sock accounts to spy, to lurk, to make trouble. So just be aware of that, sir. I don't know if you are aware of that, but I'm just letting you know. I know that she's been over here on my channel lurking, even going so far as to make comments on my tarot lives. And I know it's her. She doesn't scare me. But also be aware, James, that since your content falls under fair use and transformative, there's really not a whole lot she can do. But she still likes to try to intimidate people and scare people. And There's nothing to be scared of. Like YouTube lets her be on YouTube and do the kind of content that she's doing, even though they have terms of service that say they don't allow her kind of content. So if she can be here, then we can be here. And as long as our content is fair use and transformative, not a doggone thing she can do. So, all right. With that said, let's get on to the react. So I've been running around all over Twitter and pulling up some very interesting things, positive things, animal things. I do like to show the animal clips, it makes you smile a little bit. It gives you a warm bit of sunshine in your heart. So let's go there first. Let's do that first. And yes, I am wearing my Jim Morrison t-shirt today. I have a few of those. I am a big fan of Jim Morrison, not only because I love the music of the Doors and Jim Morrison. Did y'all know that Jim Morrison was a prolific writer? Before he was the singer of the Doors, he was a poet. A lot of his poetry was set to music by the Doors and became songs for the Doors. And for those of you that if you like things that are calming and beautiful, may I recommend that you go on YouTube and you look up and check out the album that was done with a lot of his poetry called An American Prayer. Jim Morrison has that perfect calming voice. He could read the phone book to you and it could calm you down. He's got that beautiful poetry voice that just everything just flows. So check out An American Prayer. You'll be happy that you did. His poetry is very abstract, but just calming, absolutely calming. And if you happen to like poetry, he's got several books out as well. So yeah, I'm into poetry. I adore Jim Morrison, so we're wearing the Jim Morrison t-shirt today. Another one of my favorite poets is Charles Bukowski. He's an extreme one, but his poetry is brilliant. I absolutely love that kind of poetry. So anyway, enough about that. Let's go on to the Twitter stuff. Let's make sure that I am where I need to be. I am not, but I can be there in just a second. Perfect. Okay. So let's get started with that. And remember, James, I'm only reacting to this video with you because I'm not doing it alone. I can't. But I'm sure you have a lot of interesting things to say about Chantal sitting down with 4 trays of desserts. Just absolutely insane. Insane. I mean, diabetes who? Diabetes what? It's funny to me that Chantal tries to paint this picture of Salah being the loving husband. What loving husband would give their type 2 diabetes having wife 4 trays of desserts? It makes no sense. Okay, so for those of you that are on Twitter X and you would like to follow me on Twitter X, it's Wild Girl Sarah. Whenever I do a live or a video, I post the link to everything there first because YouTube notifications just suck sometimes. So let's start here with silly cats. Okay, this poor kitty, ferrets are funny creatures. They're hilarious. They're a hoot. I used to have an ex that had 2 collies, and the ferret would actually play with the collies like another dog. And it was so funny to watch the ferret do the ferret hop and then flatten themselves on the floor like nobody can see them. So this cat is very much attached to the ferret. And the cat thought that the ferret was dead and got very upset. But the cat likes to have a go at the ferret, but as I say, they have a friendship of sorts. So that's so cute. All right, this is from the Dalbo dog. Now, at first glance, this may seem like something that would upset you, and please don't get upset, but I'm showing this for a reason. Sometimes you see an animal, you meet an animal that in the beginning, it doesn't look too nice. It needs a lot of help. It needs a lot of love. And that's what the picture on the left is this poor neglected dog. And then look at the picture on the right. Same dog. After much care and much love, look at the difference that love can make in the life of a living being, whether it's a cat, a dog, a hamster, a snake, a lizard. Love changes all things, even plants, even trees. Something that may not look so great at first, with love and care, it can absolutely transform. So if you're someone and you see a stray dog or a stray cat on the street, or just a stray animal that needs love, don't walk away at first glance because they don't look so good. Understand that you, as a living being, can have such an impact on the life of that living being, and really just let it become all that it should be. Okay, this is from Hakan Kapuko. Now, this is wonderful. Like, there's these two men who go out and feed dogs. It's obviously just raining outside. So the men are opting to put the bowls inside and let the stray dogs eat inside. They're taking all these stray animals and taking them off the street to eat in the car where it's comfortable and it's dry. Kindness is free, but it's priceless in value. And I salute these two men for going that far and doing that much. I hope they get all the good energy in the world. Okay, on to Chantal stuff. Let's see. Hidden Truths says this could also be the end of the Kuwait arc as the authorities intensify their efforts to crack down on illegals in Kuwait who have bad health like she does. With this new movement happening, this could be the motive behind them buying a new travel suitcase for Salah. Okay, Perfectly Imperfect says here's a clip of Foodie responding to Brenda's question about her and Salah doing a Canada Day mukbang. She's definitely flustered. More evidence that perhaps they are going to Canada July the 2nd. So do I think that Foodie or the both of them are going somewhere before the crackdown? Absolutely. I mean, she knows that the heat is being turned up in the kitchen. She knows she's got to get out of there, whether it's alone or with him. Something's got to happen. Like, I keep feeling like something big is happening in the background. And that's why she's doing an uptick in these mukbang videos, hoping to make extra money. Like in the last tarot reading I did, there's an emphasis on money. Like, it's go time. There's no time to waste. There's no time to mess about. We just got to go for it. So they're both in the mindset of money, 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 money. But let's watch the clip, courtesy of Perfectly Imperfect and Hidden Truths.
Well, you're going to do a Canada Day mukbang with Salah on July 1st. I don't know. Probably. Well, I don't know. I don't know, Bertha. I don't know. You just confused me.
Why was that confusing? See, you know what? You know how I love. You know what I love about Chantal? The fact that she lies, but she tells on herself. She's such a bad liar. If she's not telling on herself with her words, she's telling on herself with her expressions. That's why she should stop lying. She tells on herself. She's flustered because she knows she's got to go, or they both have to go. What she could have said, if she were a good liar, is, oh, sure, yeah, we're going to do a mukbang together. And that would have been the end of that. But she honestly got flustered. She got flustered. You really shouldn't lie, Chantal. You tell on yourself. But I love the fact you tell on yourself. Like, the truth will always come shining through. Okay, another one from Hakan Kapuko. This small white puppy cannot see the world, so his brother becomes his eyes. If this isn't feeling and empathy, then what is? So this larger dog is guiding the smaller dog down the stairs, and notice how the dog is right next to the smaller dog. The bigger dog, that he has a sense that I need to be this close and keep them up against the wall so they don't fall. And I don't know if the dog was taught that or it just figured it out, but I think that's fantastic. But the animals can sense when another animal needs help, and they're right there acting as a guide or a guardian angel. How sweet that is. Okay, another one from the double dog. Again, picture on the left. That's the before. Picture on the right, that's the after. So again, if you see an animal on the street that it looks scruffy, it looks dirty, it may be matted, it may have fleas, but it's friendly and it's looking at you with the big sad eyes like, please help me. And if you can help it, help it. Don't take them for face value on the outside first. Just understand that there's potential in there, and it's a human, that's a living life, and you can cause so much of a world of difference to happen with that animal. Just give him a little love. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, another one from the Dalbo dog. Okay, this is something you don't see every day. You get a puppy pile, and then you've got a turtle cuddling with the dogs. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. But maybe the turtle likes all the body heat. Maybe it's just adoring the body heat. I know that turtles, they like to sunbathe. They'll sit on a log and like soak up the sun, and it feels really good to them. But what a sweet picture. You got the turtle cuddling up to the puppies. And here's another one, cats with powerful aura. So here's Mama Tortie teaching the baby Tortie how to walk. Mama staying real close, make sure the baby is safe. Look at the little baby. I love cats. Can you tell I love cats? Torties are such pretty cats. And they come in such various colors and markings. Really gorgeous. Okay. Now this is one from, excuse me, I'm sorry. Here's something from Yup Yup saying this is an interesting theory from the farms. Is Foodie only able to mukbang like this because she's not actually taking her meds? So this is, I guess, a comment from the Kiwi farms, courtesy of Contrary 38, saying, I don't believe she's taking the diabetes meds anymore. She said herself they give her stomach issues, and I've seen a ton of people who are on the same meds say that there's no way they could eat what she's been eating while taking them. I strongly suspect she's had some bad news health-wise, and she's saying, screw it. Well, I'm not a diabetic. I don't take diabetic medication. I don't know if certain ones cause the stomach upset and other ones don't, but I do believe that she has to be taking something for her blood sugar to keep herself from going into a diabetic coma. Otherwise, she more than likely would have a medical event even while she's sleeping. So I don't know if some of the meds that are controlling her blood sugar, if there might be some that she could take without the stomach upset. But I do believe part of that is right, because in the past, Chantal was taking the Ozempic, and she did that for a while to try to lose weight. But because of her problem with food, she didn't like the fact that the meds did not let her eat all that she wanted, so she discontinued taking them. So if that was the case then, that might be the case now. If she's catering to the feedy people and they're saying, eat more, eat more, eat more, we'll pay you more money, just keep eating. Chantal's mindset is her health is not her priority. The money making is a priority. So she might be easing off the meds to be able to fulfill all the requests. Okay, this is a post from Yup Yup saying, so Foodie's Beezer Ghostface appears to be a minor who doesn't get along with his parents and wishes Salah and Foodie were his surrogate parents instead, ? He looks up to them as role models, which is entirely inappropriate. Well, that's just weird. Yeah, I've heard that around the community, that Ghostface is a very, very, very young man. Do I think it's appropriate for a very, very young man to be hanging around Foodie, talking to Foodie, given the kind of content that she's doing? No, absolutely not. We saw the way she acted on Omegle or Omegle. She was very inappropriate with the minors on Omegle. So she doesn't really need to be around Ghostface, nor does Ghostface need to be around her. I'm going to just, here's the, hold on a second. Let me just bring this up. So this is the handle, Ghostface Beauty 808. And this is really strange. I don't think that Ghostface is Arabic. So what's all the Arabic stuff about? Is that a way to kind of connect with Chantal? Emulate Chantal and Salah? Interesting. Let me see. Going on to this right here. This person, Tarak, says, keep in mind, Sammer, I don't know if that's his real name or just a handle, also reverted because she reverted and met Salah. Okay, can I just say a word about that? Someone reverting to Islam, in my opinion, that is something that should be taken seriously and not done just because somebody else is doing it. Taking the I want to be more like you mindset, that's going too far. When you're going towards a certain faith, it should be because you feel it in your heart and you feel it's right, and something inside of you is calling you to do it, not because there are two people online that are doing it. He has issues with his parents due to his sexuality. None of my business, nor mine. I don't know what Ghostface's sexual identity is. And I'm sorry if he's having issues with, say, the parents at home. But he actually has told me via message that they are his surrogate parents that he wishes he had. What? Why would anybody choose Salah and Chantal as, I wish you were my parents, when neither one of them are responsible? They're not responsible people. They're very irresponsible, reckless people. He was 13 when he started watching her, by the way, and she asked him to out certain people for her. I had to delete my Facebook because this person making threats to my family on there as early as last week. Just a heads up. Okay, and this is the part where I give my thoughts about Ghostface. I think Ghostface is a misguided, angry young man. I don't know what's going on with home. I don't know what issues his parents have with his sexuality. I'm sorry he's going through that. I'm getting this feeling that he's was looking for a place to belong, a place to be accepted, and he wandered into Chantal's chat, and Chantal accepted him, so he just went all in with her. And that's what the whole I wish you were my parents and I'm going to be a revert as well came from. Just wanting to be further accepted and trusted and be more of the inner circle. But the word that keeps coming to mind is misguided. He's very misguided. He's being misguided because he wants to be accepted. But being accepted by the wrong people for the wrong reasons. So if Ghostface is a very, very young man, it seems like he is, instead of Chantal being the responsible one and saying, you know, Ghostface, you really shouldn't be here. She's accepting him and also using him as a way to do her dirty deeds. She is an adult. She's 40 now and using a minor to do not nice things. Using Ghostface as a pawn to go after people. You're using a child to go after people, Foodie. That's horrible. What is the matter with you? Also, Ghostface, there's something you should know. Chantal has been mad disrespectful to the LGBTQ community. Mad disrespectful. Even going so far as to exploit the LGBTQ community during Pride Month. You know, saying she was bi when she's not bi, just really running the gamut with that, just trying to get some extra views for herself or tap into the LGBTQ algorithm on YouTube. So I don't know what Ghostface's sexuality is. Again, it's none of my business and it's not my concern. But whatever it may be, if he was looking for a place to belong with Chantal, he should know that Chantal has been mad disrespectful to that community, exploiting that community for attention, for views, for money, and that's just wrong. But just from this post alone, and I am taking it with a grain of salt because I'm part of Girl World, and you know how we roll here. You know, when we go shopping for the truth, we like receipts. Here's a receipt, but I've got questions. I don't know how authentic it is, but if this is true right here, it sounds like Ghostface is a misguided, angry young man that Chantal is using to her advantage. She's putting a minor to work to go after people. And Chantal, shame on you. Absolutely shame on you. How dare you and how could you? But I'm not really shocked or surprised. Chantal likes to find whoever she can get her hands on to do her dirty work. She wants to stay at the back of the chessboard in the furthest corner, and everybody else in front is a pawn that she can move around as she pleases. They do the dirty work. If they get any blowback or any damage, they got to deal with it, not her. She can always throw her hands up and say, "It wasn't me. Don't look at me." That's the way she's always played the game. So, yeah. So apparently Chantal is exploiting a minor and exploiting the negative thoughts, the angry thoughts of a minor. I'm sorry he's having problems at home with the family, but, you know, the wrong tribe to belong to. Absolute wrong tribe. Okay, post of cats. Kitty said goodnight. Aw, little tuxedo cat. Aw. What you guys are seeing right here, that's what Blackie does to me outside. Like I'll sit down, she'll sit on my lap, and then she'll lay her little chin on my hand and sleep. It's so cute. Okay. I saved this one because it reminds me of my Booger post of cats. So the cat's doing the love bite fight thing, and the owner's like, "I'm gonna bite you back." Rah, rah, rah. And the cat's like, "What? You biting me back? How could you?" All right, this is interesting. And Scorpio Angel say to the three beezers and the ones in the back, this feral blank lived in filth, neglecting and abusing cats, smoking around them while sympathizing for PDF files, and being a predator herself. Go F yourself, Chantal, nasty beach. You haven't changed. So for the new beezers that weren't around for the Villa arc, I just told you, Girl World, when we look for the truth, when we go truth shopping, we always bring home the receipts, baby. We got them all day. And there's no greater receipt than one you can see. So, courtesy of Scorpio Angel, allow for me to give you some tangible proof receipts. You want to see how BBJ and Sam, her cats, were living before BBJ went to FFG and her family, and Sam went to another home, thank goodness. Here you go. Top left, what you're looking at. Chantal's bedroom. That's a corner of her bedroom. There's the food. There's the food all over the floor. Yeah. And that was all over the house, by the way. That mess was all over the house. Vile. Disgusting. Her cats couldn't even run around and get zoomies because there was so much trash everywhere. The top right, what you're looking at, that was the mess beneath her desk. All that unnecessary garbage. Again, the cats had to walk around in that. I remember her stream, Chantal, her bedroom, like she had one of those cameras that panned around when she walked. And you could see, because she was walking away from her computer or from her camera, her phone, she could not walk a straight line From where she was sitting to her bedroom door, she had to step over things. It was just that bad. And when she finally cleaned her bedroom, there were, and I'm not even kidding, 9 bags of trash bags full to the brim, lawn trash bags, the really extra large ones that from just her room alone. I am so not even joking. And there she is smoking the green stuff around little BBJ. So the cats lived in that filth, in that horrible filth. And y'all beezers, you wonder why we don't like Chantal? Don't F with cats. Okay? It's one thing for her to live in that filth by herself, but she had those babies all up in it. We don't like that. So yeah, we don't like her for a reason, and it has nothing to do with her weight. Her weight is her issue to deal with or not deal with, but she was an animal neglecting, animal abusing so and so. I got to say it like that because of YouTube. I can't say what I'm really thinking. Oh, small silly cat says this puppy thinks he's a kitten, so the mom takes care of him. Oh, look. And once again with the torties, mom probably saw the kitten and said, oh, is this one of mine? Well, he's bigger than the rest. He must drink a lot of milk. But this baby is part of the pack, taking care of the puppy like it's a kitten. I think that's adorable. All right, here's something you don't see every day from Fegan. This amazing foal was born with a patch by his mane that looks like another horse. The pattern is such a work of art that the foal's owners have called him Da Vinci, or Vinny for short. That's really unusual and really rare, and I think that's amazing. How striking. I bet that horse never got sold. I mean, how could you sell a foal like that? Because that's a 1 in a million. Jolie says, even after Salah ate on him, English major. So Fufu Egg left a comment on her video, the desserts video, saying, you shared those sweets with family after mukbanging over them? Chantal says, no, we brought a sharing tray of mamoul only, and these were for us. We have lots of leftovers even after Salah ate on them. First of all, Salah doesn't really eat sweets. He doesn't really like sweets. I don't know why she keeps insisting on trying to tell us, oh, I shared things with him. Salah would never. He knows the moment he tried to touch Chantal's food, he'd get his hand bitten off or he would get a temper tantrum. So, but I love how she's telling on herself here. She says, oh, we bought a sharing tray of mamoul. So 4 trays of dessert for her, 1 tray for allegedly other people. And another thing, something that should be known about Chantal. Not only does she have food addiction, but she's also very food aggressive. What does that mean? Well, what does that mean is she's so food aggressive. She wants all the food. And one of the things that she does to make sure that nobody else will take the food that she wants is she'll have a bite of everything. And that's her way of claiming it. Like, this is mine, I'm eating off of it, because she knows that once she eats off of something, nobody else will touch it. So her being the gluttonous beast that she is, she'll eat a little bit off of everything to ensure that nobody else will have it. So a little tray of mamoul allegedly for other people and 4 trays for her. And as a type 2 diabetic, does she need 4 trays of desserts? No, not at all. And no, Chantal, Salah's not going to eat that stuff. That was for you. I mean, the rumor is, Chantal, that Salah wanted to spend Eid with his family. And they don't like you. But knowing you were going to throw a hissy fit about him leaving you alone, he went out and got all those desserts, maybe for a mukbang. I also heard that there was somebody in your chat who requested they wanted to see desserts. So that's maybe where the idea came from. Although that had to be a feedie asking for that, because who would ask for that knowing the person that's going to be doing the mukbang is a type 2 diabetic and they don't need sugar. But the rumor is that he wanted to go spend time with family. He knew he was going to have to leave you alone. So he went out and got all those desserts as a way to pacify you and shut you up. There also might be the possibility, and I'm not saying this 100% certain. I honestly think Salah is trying to induce a medical event. And if something happens to you and you do it to yourself, he's off the hook. I mean, something's going on. If a guy knows you're a type 2 diabetic, you have dangerously high blood sugar, and he's bringing you all those desserts. I mean, maybe he's waiting for something to happen. I don't know. Peaches says, when someone is live streaming your worst moments on their second account and you can't meet their views on your main account at the same time, love that for you. So this is Mr. Snowflake, of course, and I believe he was on the Under the Hood account, and he's got more views than Chantal. Of course he did, because it's Mr. Snowflake. Okay, that's it for the Twitter stuff. I'm glad we're all caught up. And somebody on my channel was remarking that sometimes the audio gets a bit garbled. I can explain that. I'm on Wi-Fi, and sometimes the Wi-Fi just goes nuts for a minute or two. So if that happens, it's about the Wi-Fi. And I wish I could physically plug into something, but I really can't because of where I live. So I apologize if sometimes the audio starts to glitch out a little bit. It doesn't match. That's why, though. It's the Wi-Fi around here. It gets kind of iffy. So let's go on to Mr. James Brightman, shall we? Because I'm not doing this by myself. I'm not doing it. No. No, we're not. And he did a really cute song in the beginning. And I'm sorry, James, I don't know if it's like copyrighted music, sir, but you guys can see the song on his channel. And I'm going to react with James, and we're just going to give our thoughts together. All right, let's go.
Hello everyone, it's James here, welcome in.
Welcome.
Today we're going to be reacting to the woman whose blood sugar has officially gone Super Saiyan. We are reacting to Foodie Beauty and Arabic desserts mukbang on Eid al-Adha. I don't know how to pronounce that last bit. Look at these two pilchards smiling over what can only be described as more destructive than a house fire. It's just...
You know, like, I'm sorry to interrupt you already, James, but Eid is something sacred to Muslim people. Leave it to Chantal to take something sacred and making it about gluttony. Doing a mukbang on a sacred day. Leave it to her to just turn any reason, any holiday, any event into a reason to be gluttonous. Oh, it's Eid? I'm going to be gluttonous. It's Ramadan? I'm going to be gluttonous. Taking her shahada, but then committing acts of gluttony on the sacred days. Only she would do that.
This guy, if you really loved this woman, you wouldn't be giving her 4 trays of cakes.
Yeah, well, he's doing it because he doesn't love her. I mean, it's so obvious. He's doing it because he doesn't love her. And as I said earlier, I don't know if he's trying to induce a medical event. In previous videos, I was actually wondering, like, what is Salah trying to do? There was a video where he took Chantal out in the desert where it's really, really hot. And they were far away from any kind of medical care, any kind of medical facility. Taking her out in the middle of the desert, knowing that she has trouble breathing and trouble walking, and she gets easily overheated, taking her around those wild camels, knowing that anything could kick off at any time. So that happened. And then he took her down to the pool, and she got in the water, and he wasn't even close by. And now we've got the tray of desserts. I mean, what are you trying to do, Salah? Are you trying to get something to happen to where you're going to pull the wasn't me thing? Like she did it to herself, and I was nowhere around and I can't be blamed. I'm kind of getting that feeling. I really am. There's something afoot here, and not the sugar foot, but something is definitely afoot. How could you be a husband or even just a friend and get all this stuff for someone like her, knowing what's going to happen, unless you want it to happen? Unless you are planning for something to happen, you're crossing your fingers for something to happen. And that's the way it feels to me.
You'd be like, you can have one of these little cakes, and that's it. But no, he's just like, oh, you eat what you want.
I've also like
Absolute bell
I'm
end.
sorry, James. I was also watching French Fry Girl, her stream, and I don't know much about Middle Eastern desserts, but she was pointing out that many of the desserts that we're looking at right now, they're very, very, very dense. She said herself, it's like a bomb to the stomach. That's why you can only eat small amounts. They're super sweet, they're coated in syrup, but really, really dense. And you can only eat small amounts. And here's Chantal with numerous very dense desserts. So here's what I'm thinking. Like Salah gave her what she wanted, because I kind of watched the video that she did. I haven't seen her look that happy in a long time. Like, she had a smile from ear to ear. She was just like, she couldn't grin any faster or grin any bigger. She was surrounded in sugar. It's like a cow in a pasture full of hay, and that's the only cow that's going to eat it. But surrounded in very dense, very rich, very sweet desserts. That, according to FFG, just one of those is a bomb to the stomach, and she's got several. What are you hoping for, Salah? Why do I have a feeling that at some point, Chantal, she's going to pop up with a video and say, oh, I went overboard and I'm in the hospital, or I went to the clinic for my blood sugar? I got a feeling that's what's next. If she and Salah have to be out of the country before the 30th, if they got to be traveling, is she doing herself any favors by eating all this junk? I mean, because it's not going to help in the way of getting down to a size where she can get one plane seat versus two. It's not going to help her as far as getting in an airplane and not having a medical event in the air. She should be looking at traveling home or with him and doing what she can to ease up on things, because the longer this goes on, the worse she's getting. And you know what, Salah, if she gives you grief, if she becomes more of a burden, I do not feel sorry for you, because you're making things worse, not better.
Anyway, let's get into it.
Hello guys, and Eid al Mubarak. Enjoy the sweets, sweetie.
Thanks, babe.
Shut
Hello,
up.
guys.
Absolute pilchard. Enjoy your sweets. Yeah, enjoy your coma. You absolute fucking knob cheddar.
Assalamu alaikum. Eid al Mubarak to all my fellow brothers and sisters. So, in celebration, we got some sweets. I know you're thinking you shouldn't be eating sweets. I'm gonna have a little bit of each, okay?
No, you shouldn't be eating sweets, you absolute wank.
I
I can't even find the words anymore to describe how stupid this is. Yeah, it's abject idiocy, abject stupidity. The fact that she's gonna consume all of these desserts, and it doesn't matter if she has it all or if she has some. This is like copious amounts of cream, of white bread, essentially, cheese, pistachios, speculoos, lotus, biscoff. Um, good lord, I can't even imagine what her pancreas is thinking right now. Like, definitely Bismillah, let me go, but it's more like the Hunger Games now, isn't it? May the odds be forever in her pancreas's favour. Good grief.
Yes, indeed. All right, so
mean, I'm honestly, I'm getting a stomach ache just looking at that food. You know, like a little bit of dessert is fine, but she's got the entire freaking bakery in front of her. This is insane. And James is right. It doesn't matter if she eats a little bit on camera and then she finishes the rest later. I mean, look, I told y'all, if the temptation foods are too close, if you can reach out and touch them, they are too close to you. And just because they're there and just because they taste good, you're going to have a bee moment. You absolutely are. And it's not even a variety of different items like dessert and something else is something else. This is nothing but sugar on top of sugar on top of sugar. Like, how is she not going to end up in the clinic or the hospital? I don't know if that's the objective. You know, I've always wondered if Chantal was deliberately gaining weight or she was trying to induce a medical event so Kuwait couldn't kick her out. I'm just wondering. But why would you? How could you? Like, I know you want to stay in Kuwait, Chantal, but is it worth dying for? Obviously it is for you. Like, I don't care if a feedy person wanted all of this, but it's not good. It's not good. See, you can't do stuff like this and then get angry at Girl World because we call it out. Because we say, this is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. Why are you doing this? You need inpatient. You need therapy. You get angry at us for being the voice of reason that, in my opinion, you did not hear enough of growing up. Somewhere in your childhood, growing up, in my opinion, your family failed you. They failed you bad. Maybe you were just a bad kid and you didn't listen. They did try, but then after a while they stopped trying, but they shouldn't have stopped trying. They should have ruled with an iron fist and gotten on top of this thing. The fact that they didn't has led to a lot of this, and you're still going, and all this stuff that's going on right now. You didn't have enough structure and discipline growing up. And that led you to be the person that you are. I'm not putting the blame solely upon the family, but you know what? When you're brought up a certain way, it sticks with you. And from everything I've seen and everything I've heard, a lot of your family, they were very hands off. From an early age, they were hands off with you when they should have had more of a role. Not enough discipline, not enough structure. I grew up in a family where I had a military father. So yeah, 6'4", over 200 pounds. I was brought up in a family where you learn your manners early. That's some of your first words. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Please, thank you, and excuse me. And if you didn't use your manners, you got the stare, and that's the only warning you got. But you learn quick to be respectful. You learn quick about that discipline and structure. And I'm happy that I was brought up that way. It gave me so much structure for a moral compass that I still have to this day. But in your early life, you weren't really given that structure. And part of that is you, and part of that is the family. And here you are doing this nonsense, this buggery.
These are some like traditional Arabic sweets, and we have some that are traditional for Eid al-Adha, which is today in Kuwait from the 16th of June till the 18th of June. It's different in different countries, but for Kuwait, that's the dates.
So much
we have
culture
here
that we're learning here.
Kanafa that has cheese. Very popular Arabic dessert. We have some basbousa that has cream inside. By the way, the cream you see on these desserts is called ishta. So we have basbousa with ishta. We have some cake, soft cake that has ishta, which is such a delicious cream.
So Chantal did this video, and almost as soon as she posted it, she went live again, looking for the hate super chats. I remember back in the day, Chantal made so much money just in hate super chats. People were sending her money to get her attention, and that's exactly why she did some of the things she did. She was hoping to make money off of hate and negativity. But over the course of time, that has slacked off. See, when you're a scammer like she is, one of the things that you have to do is you have to keep switching up the scam game, the shell game. If you do the same tactics for too long, people catch on to what you're doing and it no longer works. But she's not, put two and two together. So she keeps doing the same things, looking for the same results, and they're not coming. And she's getting frustrated and she's getting mad and she's blaming girl world. Everything is our fault. Her health problems are our fault. Her lack of views are our fault. Everything is our fault. It's so much easier to point your finger at other people and say, you're to blame, and do that blame shifting. It's a lot harder to look at yourself and say, I did this to myself. I did this. I made those bad choices. I can't blame anybody. That takes a level of introspection. That takes a level of accountability and responsibility that she refuses to cultivate and have within herself.
And it has a lotus on top, so biscoff. We have some mamula, different kinds. Some have dates, some have nuts, but they're baked at the bakery there you saw in the video. What do you want? You want some mamula?
I'm letting her describe this stuff, but in all honesty, I am absolutely gobsmacked
Yeah.
at the amount of sweet stuff that she's got in front of her right now. So with the savory stuff, the pizza and that's bad enough. But
Yeah.
now you're just deliberately eating sweet food as a type 2 diabetic.
Yeah.
And if you want an estimated blood sugar, this is going to be probably higher than the highest that she's recorded on her
I believe it.
videos. I think the highest she's recorded is 22.
Yeah.
She's probably going to be at least 26, 28, something like that. I don't know the American measurements, unfortunately.
Wow. You know what, James? You're right. The highest that she's ever shown us was 22, and that's what, in the 400s, which is insane. But this alone is going to drive it even higher. I don't know what she's doing, sir. Like, I don't know if she feels she's untouchable, unbreakable, if she's flirting with the Grim Reaper and she's daring the Grim Reaper to come pay her a visit. I don't know what her objective is, but this is just absolute madness. I honestly think that Chantal should be locked up. Locked up. Just against her will, put into restricted, locked down inpatient, where her food can be monitored. She can be supervised. She cannot sneak in food. She cannot order food. She's forced to change herself because that's the only way it's going to happen. If you leave her alone to do what she pleases, she does this, like she does the self-harm content. And she does it publicly, which may lead to other people being hurt, people who have BED, people who are food addicts. They might get triggered. They might be trying to be on their way to recovery, and then they see something like this, and then they go, they fall off track. In my opinion, sir, she is a danger to herself. And by doing this publicly like she does, she's a danger to others. She might be affecting others, and it's a bad system. It's a really bad system.
Unfortunately, but if you want to know, there's obviously conversion charts out there. Yeah, I'm absolutely gobsmacked at she's even considering having some of this. Now, when your diabetes is under control, which hers isn't, you can have the odd treat here and there. It just depends on your mindset, really. I have chocolate every now and then, and it doesn't spike my blood sugar because I'm very careful about what I consume, and I always check. Like if I add something new to my diet, I always check before and afterwards to see how it affects my blood sugar. So I had some rice, which I haven't had for like months, and after I had it, my blood sugar was like 8, which is quite high for me because after 2 hours, my blood sugar normally falls down to about 6, something like that. So I have to be very careful with white rice. So that's why I normally stick to potatoes as my carb of choice, because I find that potatoes, a decent portion of potato, doesn't spike my blood sugar at all. Um, so then I can safely know that I can have a dessert of like grapes, a pear, and a bit of chocolate, and 2 hours my blood sugar will be in the normal range, so I don't have to worry.
You know, one thing that I'm noticing today, James, she did all of this yesterday. She hasn't posted anything today. I wonder if this made her ill.
But when you're foodie and your blood sugar is out of control, no amount of Unicity fiber drinks is going to pull you back into the normal range after 2 hours of eating that. It's just so much sugar,
Right.
so much fat, so many carbs. Yeah, absolutely abysmal choice. And that's putting it lightly.
Yes, sir. And I think Foodie likes to talk herself to a place where she thinks she knows best for her body. You know, she goes to Dr. Google, and she might be under the assumption that as long as she takes her blood sugar meds, that those pills, whatever they are, whatever the amount, that she can take the pills and it'll cancel out all of whatever blood sugar she's got going on, or keep it from spiking up too dangerously. And even with medication, there's only so much those pills can do. That if you go bananas with the food, there's only so much they can do to help you. And you can reach a place with it all where the medication just doesn't work. And once it stops working, like, what are you going to do? There's really not much you can do. Like, she's making life much more difficult for herself. Chantal, in my opinion, she's so far down the rabbit hole. She's so far gone with her food addiction that she refuses to stop. She's looking for ways to continue and to keep going and to do more. Rather than put the brakes on, she's stepping on the gas pedal. And she's not even doing this privately. She's doing it publicly on YouTube. This is feedy content. If you're going to do it, Chantal, you should do it on a private forum like Patreon or OnlyHands. Do it the right way. I mean, I don't recommend you hurting yourself, but doggone it, if you're going to hurt yourself, have the respect to know that there are people on YouTube that have food issues or had food issues. You should not be messing with their recovery or path to recovery. That is wrong. That is so wrong. You having your food issue and misusing it and monetizing it, that was the very reason I started to react to you in the first place. Because I noticed things that maybe other people who've never had a food issue didn't notice, and I wanted to point them out and point out how wrong it was. That's why I started. It wasn't about being a fat shamer or fat phobia or anything like that. It was about seeing you as a food addict abuse your body with food, doing the feedy content, me recognizing what you were doing and why you were doing it. And I wanted to point things out to illuminate what was going on so that those who watched you could understand better what they were seeing. You're doing fetish content on YouTube where it should not be. Fetish content belongs on a private forum. You decided long ago to take what should be private content and put it on YouTube, because by doing it that way, you wouldn't be up against competition that you would be on a private forum like OnlyHands. You want to bypass the competition, put your content on YouTube where it's a big forum and people can watch for free and make money, guaranteed money. And you did. And you called what you did mukbangs. They're not mukbangs. It's feedy content. And you attracted the feedies. And you've had quite a few over the years that you've been open about. You had the Lakma fairy, that person that bought you a tray full of chocolate messy lakmas. You had the paneer fairy, the guy who bought you the wooden spoon and the wooden fork because of his particular quirk with your mukbang content. Yeah, you ate paneer for over a month. You also gave out your home address, and the feedy people were buying you clothes. And yes, I noticed and I clocked that a lot of the outfits that you bought per haul, a lot of them were 2 sizes too small. You were catering to the gainers, ma'am, because they like to see people of a bigger size struggle to get in their clothes. They like to see evidence that you're getting bigger. So you bought clothes specifically for custom content. I also clocked how, in my opinion, you were doing the feedy content and then turning around and double dipping and putting that content on YouTube to make whatever coin you could off of it. Also, and this is something of note, James, this person right here, she was caught on a feedy site. She made a profile, a site for the feedy people, had her name and everything. Kiwi Farms found that out. They exposed it on their forum. When she found out that they found out, she got rid of the profile. So clearly, she's involved in that community. She's catering to that community, and she's gone full throttle now with catering to that community. So when she says, I have changed, everything's different now, no. Same old Chantal, doing the same old content, doing it on YouTube. Not good for her health, not good for the health of anybody who watches her. Catering to a niche part of her audience, ignoring the other 75% that are there, that they don't want to see her get sick. They don't want to see her pass away. She could care less about those people because they're not the ones paying her extra money. She's turned her channel into a fetish channel. And she's done all different kinds of fetishes, James. Catering to all different kinds of crowds. When she was heavily into doing the edibles, she was catering to those who did, and I have to say it this way, rugs, catering to the immobilizers in the feedy community, catering to the gainers, catering to those who wanted to see her eat. So many things. Just reaching her little paws into different algorithms on YouTube. And when it comes to fetishes, y'all, even people who are spectators, they have a right to be informed. They have a right to give consent to whether they want to watch or don't want to watch. And Chantal doing fetish content on her channel, and she's not informing the audience about what they're watching, not warning them so they can opt out of watching her or not, that's just wrong. You're putting fetish content in front of the ordinary public and not saying, this is what I'm doing, just letting you know so you can decide whether you want to opt out or not. Like she's disguising it as a mukbang, but it's fetish stuff. So just wanted to say that.
The cat. And we have some ice saraya, which is cake with ishta. This has pistachio on top. So these are the same, but this one has biscoff on top. So bismillah. And again, Eid Mubarak.
Bismillah, let my pancreas go.
Some of this kanafa. There's not much of a cheese pull because, we had to go get it and everything, but bismillah.
You know what's crazy, James? This isn't all of the desserts, my friend. This isn't all. The end of the video, she says that there's another tray off camera. As if 4 trays weren't enough, there's another one. She's saying, oh, we're taking that to other people. If you took away the furthest tray, the one next to it, and the one on the right, and just left that one tray with the it looks like muffins. I'm not quite sure what that dessert is called. Just that one tray would be too much, way too much. It would still be dangerous for her. But she's got that, and that. Got all 4. This is for the feedy people. They want to see more. They want to see large volume. They want to see bulk. They want to see a spread of desserts because, one tray just isn't enough. It's not what they're paying for. They want to see a spread of food out in front of a person. Hey, Chantal, I dare you to tell me this wasn't a B moment. I double dare you. I dare you. I dare you to tell me this wasn't a B moment for you. You can try, but I'm no, you're going to lose that argument. This was a B moment. You get a whole spread of sweets in front of you. You do have a sweet tooth. You got to have your carbs. You got to have your sugar. You get a whole bunch of sugar in front of you. And if you try to tell me in the audience that you didn't go to town on this when the camera was turned off, I'm going to say bollocks. Liar. You know you did. You didn't want to do it on camera because you might get in trouble with YouTube. You might get demonetized. But you went to town when the camera was turned off, especially late at night, Chantal. Girl, I see you. Okay? Been there. The carb cravings, the sugar cravings are the worst at night. I don't know why. But they are. Around 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you start to get those cravings, man. They sneak up on you. And there you are, alone in that apartment with just your thoughts, just your muddled mind. And you've got these wonderful sweets in your kitchen. You're not going to go and eat up and make your mind shut up. I know you will. As I said, you want to be removed from the danger, you got to take it out of the house. Carb cravings suck. They do. You can't have all this stuff around you. You ate all that. Yes, you did. As if the 2 pizzas together weren't enough, you're going to eat all that.
Mozzarella or squeaky cheese, but it works. And there's like a bit of syrup. I don't know. It's like sweet, a bit salty.
So there's syrup on top of that. I did watch Sansa Cooks. Big out to Sansa. The macros for these desserts and the amount of sugar is in the hundreds of grams.
Woo!
And yeah, good Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't fathom somebody. Well, do you know what? I used to be almost as self-destructive as this when I was in the throes of my depression and addiction. And I can partially see where she's coming from. But I wouldn't have a smile on my face eating this. I'd be absolutely miserable because I know what would happen 2 hours later. I would be absolutely almost punch drunk trying to sort out the blood sugar levels.
You know what, James? Like, I watch Chantal, as you do, and it's rare anymore to see her happy. She always looks checked out and unhappy. Like she could be anywhere else besides the camera. I can honestly say, sir, that I have not seen her this happy in a long time. Like she's practically glowing. She's in her element right here with all this desserts. Like food is her comfort, it is her happiness, it is her joy, it is her best friend, it's her old faithful. It's funny how she wants a relationship, but yet she already has one that's ongoing and it's destructive. She's married to food. She's literally married to food. And that's the only partner that she's ever been faithful to. She's actually cheated on her human partners and lied to them. But she's glowing right now. She loves the fact that she has all this food in front of her, and it's the worst food for her. But that's how dark and deep the rabbit hole with her is. She thinks about food, she talks about food. I mean, it's the level of addiction here is insane. She'll do a live, be eating food, talking about food with people. Most of the live is food topics. And the people that are in her chat, they're as effed up as she is because they know she's got a problem with food. They know about her health issues. She doesn't make them a secret. And they know about her addiction, yet they'll bring up the subject of her addiction with her and put it in the front of her mind, knowing what's going to happen. They're putting the battery in her back to have a B moment when the chat is over. And that's why I have a problem with a lot of her beezers. I don't like Chantal. I think she's an evil beast. I've been thinking that for a while, feeling that for a while, and she's given me and other reactors and the audience plenty of reason not to like her. But from the used to be a food addict perspective and someone who's lost someone to addiction, looking at it from both those sides, like it bothers me to see people putting the battery in the back of an addict and triggering their addiction on purpose. It's so messed up. It's so messed up. You don't have to like somebody or admire someone to say what these people doing over here to this person is messed up.
So delicious, kanafa. If you've never tried kanafa, if you haven't tried Arabic desserts, try kanafa first. My favorite is basbousa. It's so soft and it's made with semolina. Need a bite?
No, thank you.
so
I'm
soft.
watching my blood sugar.
Okay, I don't want to trigger anybody, but just something of note. When I had my food addiction going on, when it was active, I would go grocery shopping and buy the food, of course, different foods. But when you're a food addict, when you go grocery shopping and you got all these, you buying all this delicious food and you're bringing it home, you got to be careful because the moment you bring all that food home, the bee monster wakes up and says, "Oh, let's have a little bit of everything." And you will. You'll go from one thing to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and you have to literally put the brakes on and stop yourself. That's why you can't have multiple temptation foods within reach because you'll want to eat them all at once. You'll go from one thing to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I'm so full. So here's Chantal with all this dessert. She's not going to stop. She's not going to stop. Whatever you put in front of her, it's gone. That's why this is so bad. Because the bee monster, the Godzilla in your head says, eat this, 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 and this. And if she's got high blood sugar, it's going to get crazy. It probably was crazy. After the cameras were turned off, she ate more of the desserts. I promise you. I promise you that happened. Especially when Salah walked out of the room. She's not going to eat all that in front of him. And when the cameras turned on, she doesn't want to catch backlash from her own beezers who are worried for her already. She's going to do it when the cameras turned off, and then she's just going to lose it.
And there's like syrup
I
on
can
it.
be aloof because you don't take care of your body.
Good stuff. I took my lipstick off because I don't like lipstick on my fork. I don't know why. It freaks me out. All right, I haven't tried this before. This lotus cake with ishta. Bye.
And again, FFG pointed this out because I don't know a lot about Middle Eastern desserts. Talk about overdoing the cake. So she's got two different kinds of dessert. They're essentially the same dessert, except that the topping on one is Biscoff, which is like a cookie, and the other to her right has the pistachio. So, like, why was that necessary? That wasn't necessary.
Mm.
Bloody hell, her
By the way,
pupils dilated then.
Not that it's not sweet. It's like I don't know how to explain it.
And for those that are wondering, for those that have an addiction to food, why sugar is so sought after, there's something that I learned a while ago, that sugar, and I have to say it this way, Coca-Cola, they both excite the brain in exactly the same way. If you do the white party powder, or if you eat something with a lot of sugar, immediately it lights up the brain like a pinball machine. It excites the brain. The balloons start popping off. So she has a love for Coca-Cola. We know that. And she also has a love for sugar because sugar gives her very much the same effect as the Coca-Cola. And, you know, 4 trays of desserts, her brain is popping off right now.
She's such a foodie with her descriptive language. That cake is very cakey. Yes. That cream is very creamy.
This is good enough for today. Yum. Oh wait, is this?
Oh, yummers.
Yeah, same thing. So for those of you who don't know, Eid is
Yes.
a Islamic holiday,
Mm-hmm.
and it basically translates to
And notice she's eating a little bit of everything. She's going to make sure to get a little bit of everything, and not because she truly wants to taste the food and give a review of it. She's doing it. It's her aggressive way of claiming the food so that nobody else will eat it. I would like to bring up something that Chantal did quite a while ago. For those that do not know. So back in the time when Chantal was with Natter, there was one live stream that she and Natter did. She was sitting in his bedroom, and the meal they had was a pita pizza. She ate all of that. And then there was also a dessert. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the dessert right off the top of my head, but it was like a mango cheesecake. So Natter had made the pita pizza and this big amount of mango cheesecake. Chantal ate the pita pizza, and I guess she was eating almost all of the mango cheesecake, which really irritated Natter because he wanted some. But here is Chantal just like inhaling it. So I believe there was one piece left of the mango cheesecake dessert on her plate, and she had a bite of it on her fork, ready to eat it. He was so irritated with her for eating almost all of the cheesecake that he reached over and he got that little piece, just a little piece, off of her fork because he wanted to have some. Chantal immediately freaked out. Her reaction was immediate. She freaked out and she said, "No." And then she immediately grabbed the last piece on her plate and shoved it in her mouth so Natter couldn't have it. She didn't want to share. That's how extreme her food aggression is. Like, I want it all and I don't want to share. And to make sure that nobody eats what she wants to eat, she'll pick at it. She'll put her fork into it, her tooth marks, whatever. That is her way of claiming the food.
it's the Feast of Sacrifice.
Okay. Feast of Sacrifice. And what exactly is Foodie sacrificing? Her
Her health,
health, her pancreas,
her
her
kidneys.
standard of living. She, like, Eid is like about Ramadan itself is about like giving up food and showing that you can worship Allah in such a way that you don't need food and water. I'm obviously, being very rudimentary about the meaning here, but she doesn't know the meaning of sacrifice. She gives in to every single craving that she has. Like, she could have easily just had one cake, but no,
Yeah.
she's decided to tell her husband, husband, to get 4 trays of sweets because she had a craving for it. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what she could have done if she had a sweet tooth or a sweet craving? All those cakes, they can F off. You know, she doesn't need all of that. It's too much. Have like at least like maybe 1 or 2 of the smaller cake looking things, and F off with the rest of those 2. And that would have satisfied her sugar craving. She didn't need all of this, just 1 of those or 2 of those and done. But she wanted to do the most. Yes, she did.
You eat yourself into a coma. I don't mind. Maybe he's doing it so that she'll, not argue with him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the feeling. This was to make her passive. Maybe he wanted to spend time with family and she wanted to spend time with him. And Chantal's 40 years old, but she does throw temper tantrums like a child. She throws hissy fits. So to shut her up, he gave her a whole lot of sugar because he knew that would make her happy. And maybe he was hoping for the added bonus that some medical event would happen while he was away and then he would be free of her. I know that's an awful thing to say, James, but again, some of the past things he's done lately, it kind of points in that direction. I can't say that for certain, but some of the things he's done, it feels sinister, diabolical, deliberate, you know?
It's it just baffles me, and I'm actually annoyed. I'll be honest with you. I know I'm trying to like have a laugh and a joke in my videos, but what she's eating now has actually pissed me off, honestly.
I don't blame you.
And that's the thing. Why should I care when she doesn't give a shit about her
Right.
own body? She's consuming copious amounts of cakes as a type 2 diabetic. She doesn't give an absolute fuck about
Nope.
her body. So why should I? Really?
I think I understand why you're angry, James. And I think that you kind of covered it a bit in the last react I did. You mentioned something very, very true, sir. You said that there are lots of people in the world that they don't have their mobility. They would give anything to have that mobility back. And here is Chantal willingly giving up hers and willingly giving up her health and trading her health for just money to satisfy people that honestly don't give a flip about her. They care about what they can get out of her and her satisfying their fetish, and that's as far as it goes. So she's giving up on her health, trading her health for paychecks. But what makes it worse is it's on a public forum where other people can see. She constantly gives out misinformation about diabetes, putting out this vibe of you can eat whatever you want. You can go wild with the food as long as you take some medication. You don't have to worry. And that's just a wrong attitude to have and dangerous. But she's doing all this on a public forum. And what scares me, James, is we live in a time of social media where there's a lot of people, they want to create accounts in different places and they want to be successful and have 1 million followers and subscribers and live that life where they're influencers and they make money and they don't have to work a regular job. They can be free to do as they please. What scares me is that somebody like that might come across Chantal, see the size of her channel, see what she's doing, and say to themselves, well, that looks easy. All I have to do is eat copious amounts of food and I can get rich, or I can make enough money to where I don't have to work. And they're not thinking about the consequences for trading your health for paychecks. And there are consequences. Chantal is literally a walking cautionary tale of different lessons of this is what you could become if you live your life without structure, if you live your life without discipline, if you live your life in a uncaring, unempathetic, hedonistic way. You could just dissolve into nothingness, into wickedness, into just absolute ruin. This could become you. I know this sounds weird, James, but there are people that have actually been inspired to work out because of Chantal. They see the way that she is, they see her health problems, they're like, nope, I don't want any part of that. So as strange and backwards as it may sound, some people have used her for inspiration for working out. And hey, if there's any positive to come from that, that's great. But she's a walking cautionary tale. She is. Of money does not buy happiness. She's got money, but she's not happy. And I also saw a meme long ago that said, some people are so broke, all they have is money. That is Chantal to a T. She's got money, but she is absolutely bankrupt in so many ways. In morals, in values, in having a moral compass, in substance, in passion, in soul. She is bankrupt. Her vault is empty. And she keeps trying to fill up that emptiness with food, not understanding that the emptiness that she feels inside has nothing to do with her stomach. Her stomach has one job, and that's to digest food. And she can eat and eat and eat, but it'll never fill up that hole that she feels, the hole that's inside of her soul. Like the stomach can't possibly fill that up, but she tries. She's like an overfed tick or a termite that just keeps eating and eating and eating, and it's never satiated. She'll never be satiated because she's using the wrong medicine for the wrong problem.
And basically, traditionally, sheep are sacrificed and typically given to the poor. But it also symbolizes a Muslim's obedience to God. And it goes back.
Yeah, you seem
I'm sorry, James. You know what I love, James? I love the fact that she's sitting here talking something about something sacred. At the same time, she's on camera doing all this gluttony during Eid. I love that. I think that she has no respect. So it's Eid. She should be praying. She should be doing good acts of charity and self-reflection and all that. And she's committing gluttony. But at the same time that she's talking about sacred things and that's coming out of her mouth, she's sticking something in it really shouldn't be there.
really obedient to God, Foodie, with what you're eating right now.
Yes.
Whichever deity lives upstairs is absolutely pissed at you for gorging yourself on camera for everyone to
Yes.
see.
Too. Apparently.
And you know what? I don't want to get religious here. You know, whatever anybody watching, whatever you believe in, if it's good with you, if it resonates with you, if it's in your heart, it's in your soul, if it resonates with you that way, it's meant for you. As long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, that's what you should be doing. That's what you should be believing in. Okay? Foodie has no substance. She's got none. And that's part of her problem. She's got no substance inside.
You know the story. It's even in the Bible, but about.
Oh, what I was going to say. I'm sorry, I kind of brain farted for a minute. What I was going to say is no matter what spiritual belief you have, we as people, we as humans, the moment we take our first breath, we are given three gifts, three powerful, wonderful, priceless gifts that you can't put a price tag on. The first gift is life. You are given life. The second gift is free will, to go as you please, to do as you please. The third gift is choice. You're given those three gifts. And then as you grow up, life becomes an airport. You know, like your ticket gets punched and off you go wherever it is you want to go. And Chantal keeps making bad choices. And she tries to say, oh, God will forgive me. Allah will forgive me. You know, maybe she prays to God or whatever. You know, at what point, Chantal, do you realize that whatever the spiritual power is that you pray to, if you pray at all, that they're looking down at you and saying, hey, you can't blame this on me. You're the one down there making the choices that you make and dealing with the consequences as such. We're hands off up here. We're letting you do as you want. You're not in touch with us anyway. Your spiritual guides, they took a coffee break and they've been on a coffee break since. You're so far removed from that spiritual side of yourself. You're living in the base part of yourself, the hedonistic primeval part of yourself. You don't want to talk to your spiritual side because if you did, it might yell at you. That's why your life is so bad. Don't try to use the spiritual world as a fallback and saying, oh, I can do whatever I want and I'll be forgiven. Not if you don't have remorse and regret in your heart, you won't.
Abraham and Ishmael, him offering his son to God as a sacrifice. I love those two. So that's essentially what it is. Now, I'm not about to sacrifice a sheep, but
No, but she's about to sacrifice one of their legs, maybe both.
we make donations, monetary donations, of, you know, basically, because, yeah, we're not about to do that, but traditionally that's what happens. Sheep are sacrificed, animals are sacrificed on this day. And kind of like on, Thanksgiving when a turkey is sacrificed. Let's try this mamul. It's powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar on
Okay,
top.
I'm sorry. So that's the mamul. Because she said on her community post that she had a tray of mamul for other people. So for a bunch of other people, you got one tray of mamul, which there's not a whole lot of. But for yourself, you'll get a tray of mamul plus a whole lot of other cake. Ridiculous.
Cake.
What is this? Oh my god. It's like a soft cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Powdered sugar.
Yeah, you know what? When you've got food addiction, that mamul is dangerous. And I'll tell you why. When it comes to something small that you could just pop into your mouth and there's a whole bunch of them, things like chips, things like cookies. You sit down with a bag of chips or a bag of cookies. The intention is, I'm just going to eat one. But if you're mindlessly eating and not paying attention to what you're eating, like say you're sitting in front of the TV and you're watching TV, what are you doing? You're doing that mindless eating. You're not even looking at the food. You're just popping it in your mouth, one after the other. Next thing you know, the whole box, the whole bag is gone. So she's got a whole tray of mamul. She will inhale that mamul, the whole tray. Out of all the desserts I see in front of me, my bet is that mamul went first. Just because you could take one and pop it in your mouth, chew it, swallow it, pop another one in your mouth. I bet that one went first.
Mm.
Some kind of jelly candy in the middle or something.
I bet that tastes so good, Fraudy. I bet that tastes so much better than having a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what, Chantal? If you do have a limb affected, because we have seen your legs before. We saw them back at the villa where you had diabetic neuropathy. You had the patches all over your legs, girl. If something happens to one of your limbs and you lose one of your limbs, don't you come crying to Girl World and saying, I lost a limb. We don't want to hear it. You literally wanted that to happen. And don't try to use losing a limb as a way to make more money on YouTube, because that's just sick.
It tastes cardamom and cinnamon. Oh, that's so good. I've only ever had packaged mamul.
Oh, thank you for telling on yourself, Chantal. So you've had mamul before, so you know what it tastes like. So why did you need to try it for this mukbang? You already knew what it tasted like. But thank you for telling on yourself.
Well, now you can have all the sweets you like.
It's a celebration.
So you know what the feeling is that I'm getting, James? I'm getting the feeling that Salah wanted to spend time with his family on Eid because it is a family community thing. The family does not like Chantal. She knows that. He knows that. That made her kind of not nice. So to shut her up before he went to go visit the family on Eid, he bought her all these sweets just to pacify her. So he could go spend time with the family. These sweets would give her something to do so he could have some quality time with the family and not hear from her. This was an offering to her altar of gluttony, and she took it and she ran with it. This will keep her pacified for at least a little while.
All right, let's try this now.
Like, you would think the old adage, you're here for a good time, not a long time. But she's not even having a good time. She's like melting in the heat like the Wicked Witch of the West. She's just sat in her flat all day doing great big bog all. So she's not even having a good time with it.
No.
Like, it's so filling. And I'm pierced. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm actually pierced.
Well, something you should know, James. Back in Canada, before Chantal moved to Kuwait, for years she didn't pay her taxes. Years. Even though she had the money and she could have settled them all out within a year, she didn't pay her taxes. You know, just thumbing her nose at the government. And then she had a hearing. She owes about 50, 60K in taxes. So part of the reason why she's in Kuwait, I feel, is she's running from the tax man, to get away from the tax man, that she wants to hang out over there, escape over there from the tax man to avoid dealing with the taxes, even though she's been in Kuwait for 2 years. And had she just started taking care of herself and being responsible and not eating as much takeout, she could have settled a good portion of that in the 2 years she's been there. But her going to Kuwait, was it about her chasing a man that didn't want her? Absolutely, sir. But also it was about, I'm escaping from all the wrong that I've done and all the ruin that I've caused myself. I'm going to go to another country and pretend I never did that and that stuff doesn't exist. But since she is on a tourist visa, she's not a resident, nor will she ever be. She can't stay there forever. At some point, she's got to come back to Canada. And I don't know if she's going to come back alone or she's trying to bring Salah. Although that's going to be interesting if she brings Salah. If they find a loophole, it's going to be interesting if she brings him, because oh, this is going to be glorious if she does this. If she brings Salah, y'all, can you imagine? Can you imagine her having Salah in Canada and having to deal with that sugar baby? And then there's Nader, who wants his sugar baby position back. And her having to deal with the both of them and trying to keep Nader hidden away from Salah. It's going to be glorious. I'm telling you, it's all going to fall apart quick if it happens.
I don't know what's inside.
I'm sure it's very healthy inside.
Walnut. It's so buttery. It tastes like a shortbread. Like the best shortbread I've ever had in my life. Oh my gosh.
And you have to think, the loyal fans that she's got left, what are they thinking about this? Some of them are probably like, oh yeah, well done, girl. You ate those cakes really good, you did. And then there are other people like, what the absolute frick are you doing to yourself?
The ones that actually care, they are having that reaction. And those people that care, they're saying, enough. I don't want to see your self-destruction. I don't want to be stressed out by it. I don't want you to raise my blood pressure worrying about you when you're not worried about you. But there are lots of people on her channel that I feel they have food issues too, James, or they have the feedy fetish. And they're supporting her in this. They say nice things to her. Oh, that looks so delicious. That looks so good. And what happens when you give positive reinforcement to negative behavior? The negative behavior continues and gets worse. So those people, they're supporting her. They're backing her up on all this nonsense, this buggery.
Because that's the thing. Her niche audience, we'll just move on to the next person.
Yeah.
She's in a position to not be in this mortal coil anymore.
Right. Yeah, but if it's not Foodie, if Foodie disappears for whatever reason, they'll move on to Hungry Fat Chick. If not Hungry Fat Chick, they might move on to Nikocado Avocado. They'll find somebody. They'll give the money to somebody. It's not like she's irreplaceable. She is replaceable.
I'm going to give a shit. And you know what? I don't give a shit either.
Me? No.
I don't care
Nope.
about her health.
No.
I was once empathetic, but seeing this, nah.
Nope.
mate.
And you know what?
Basically-
You know what, James? Your reaction is the reaction that a lot of people had. Something of interest for you, sir. There are a lot of people. They started out watching Chantal, okay? Because back in 2018, when Chantal started her channel, she was not this. She was entirely different. You could go back to, you could do a search on her channel if you wish. The Chantal that started on YouTube was not the same as this one. When she came on the scene, she was not this over exaggerated, gross, vulgar caricature of herself. She presented herself as being halfway normal. She took care of herself. She had her nails done. I mean, she talked in a normal voice. She wasn't screeching. She wasn't using the baby voice. None of that. She did a variety of content for her channel. She did video game playthroughs. She did shopping hauls and makeup looks, you know, because she was a beginning YouTuber, and she was still, in essence, trying to find her footing about what she should do on YouTube. And she came across as being a bit likable and a bit more normal. And a lot of people got into her because of that. And then the worst thing ever happened for her. She got monetized. Monetization was the worst thing to happen to Foodie. The moment she got monetized, she got hypnotized and caught up and overconsumed with the views and the money. And then she started doing the mukbang stuff and finding the feedy people, and they found her, and they were just doing things for her, and she was doing things for them, and it just snowballed from there. And what we're looking at today is the end result of her just getting obsessed and overconsumed with the wrong things. I'll even go so far, sir, as to say that I think once upon a time, there was a person by the name of Chantal Marie. The person. And then she created a character for YouTube. The character was Foodie Beauty. She's always referred to her channel as her story. Well, as you know, stories can be mostly made up. But she's writing the story as she goes, and she adds people and subtracts people as she pleases. But she's all about keeping the story going, keeping the character going, keeping the character in the public eye. The character Foodie Beauty gets all the attention and all the money that the person Chantal Marie does not. She wants to be in character all the time. And if you know something about theater, even those people that play parts in theater, they play a part, but then after the part is over, they put on their street clothes and they go out and take a walk in the street. You know, like they are their real selves away from the part, but she doesn't want to pay attention to nor care for the person behind the character. Hence the reason why her life went into such ruin. She doesn't want to be Chantal Marie anymore. She wants to be Foodie Beauty full time. And that is bad. That is very bad. To always stay in character and never acknowledge nor take care of the person behind the character. Yeah, so there's a great imbalance here. If she had not been monetized, if she had not made the money that she currently makes, would she be 500 plus pounds? No. She wouldn't have had the money to indulge in all the sweets, all the food, buying takeout 5, 6, 7 times a day, buying all the junk food, having a food habit that cost her $4,000 a month. If she had just been an ordinary person with an ordinary job, she would have had to budget her money, not indulge. She would actually be a lot healthier. A lot healthier.
You just get in the shovel, aren't you? You get in the shovel and you're digging yourself. That's all you're doing. And quite frankly, you are a disgraceful human being who doesn't deserve a platform.
No.
Absolutely not. Absolute disgrace.
And you know what, James? Here's the absolutely insane thing about her. She lost her channel before. You know that? She lost her channel. YouTube took her channel away and then they gave it back. When she lost her channel, she was begging anybody that would listen, oh, please give my YouTube channel back and I'll be so good and I'll do better content. And look what she's doing. YouTube taking away a channel and giving it back. That's a rare thing. There are channels that have lost, there are people that have lost their channels for a lot less and never got them back. And they didn't do the triggering content that she does. Absolute madness. This is how she's repaying YouTube. The moment she got her channel back, she was under the assumption she was unbreakable, she was untouchable, that she could do whatever she wants, and YouTube would look the other way. And you know what? Partly, she's not wrong, because she's still doing the triggering content, and YouTube could pull the plug on this whole thing. They could shut off the faucet and say no more, and they're not doing a doggone thing. So the impression that we're all getting is that the terms of service, it's just words on a piece of paper to make the advertisers feel happy and comfortable, and they put the ads on the videos and YouTube makes their money. But YouTube really doesn't mean what they say when it comes to the TOS.
Let's take a break and have some ice also.
You know, YouTube doesn't care about the community. They don't care about their platform. I'm sorry, YouTube. I hate to say it like that. I wish it were otherwise, but you don't care about what some of the content on YouTube is about. You care about it makes you money. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, let's take a break and have some lettuce.
There's a morning prayer to start off the first day of Eid.
You have to wonder how she felt after this.
Sick.
She must have felt like absolute doo-doo after this.
Sick. I'm guaranteed she felt sick. I mean, I'm looking at this. Even just one of those desserts, just one, never mind all of them, but the amount of sugar hitting her bloodstream all at once. You know, I've eaten something really sugary, and the next thing you know, my heart rate is going up. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel like the body is starting to speed up, and my heart just starts thumping a little faster. I can only imagine what she's going through right now.
The bread is soaked in like a syrup, cream, pistachio. So yeah, people typically just gather for dinner. We're going out after. Can't film where we're going, but because of others.
Yeah, I don't think she went out at all.
No.
I think.
I'm sorry, James. Can you imagine Fraudy eating all of this and then going out? Wouldn't that be dangerous? She's eating all these desserts. Her blood sugar is going to be dangerously high, and you're going to be out walking about and risk a medical emergency. That wouldn't be a pleasant experience now, would it?
She stayed in her flat and ate all of these cakes. I don't think she went out anywhere.
I'll show you at least something and just say, Eid Mubarak.
One moment, please. Okay, sorry about that. Let's continue.
And some people don't even do anything. They just pray and, just depends.
Yeah, I'd be praying right now for your bloody pancreas, love.
This has dates.
I'd get.
Sorry, James. Something of note, James. This is a list of things that we know about is going on with her health. So according to Chantal, she has an enlarged heart. She's had a history of blood clots in her lungs, and she's taken blood thinners before. Type 2 diabetes, of course, you know about that. Extreme fatty liver. I think long ago, Chantal told us that her liver is 3 times the size of normal. She has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. She's missing a gallbladder. We've seen the diabetic neuropathy on her legs. She's also had a history of multiple boils on her skin that she's had to have medically treated. Just all kinds of things. All kinds of things. So just giving you like a rundown of things she's had to deal with in the past.
My rosary out, I'd be doing them Hail Marys like nobody's business.
Oh, also, before I forget, not too long ago, she told us about going to a clinic or a hospital or something while she was in Kuwait, and she had a UTI. She had kidney problems, kidney infection, but they found proteins in her urine. So, like, it's bad. It's real bad.
If I ate all that. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, she was saying, "Oh, I was praying and praying and praying that I'd feel better, and I'll never harm my body again." And now look at her, stuffing her globulous glop of a visage with cake, cheese, cream. Ugh, you absolute.
You know what's amazing to me? Like, she doesn't like Girl World, James. She wants Girl World to be like her hug box or her hog box, whichever way you look at it. But she expects Girl World to treat her the same way her beezers do. And for all of us to be yes men and go along with whatever she's doing and give her support and praise her and pat her on the back. We're not going to do it. We're not going to co-sign on her nonsense if she's doing this self-harm content, if she's doing this self-harm behavior in full view of the public. We are not going to praise that. We are not going to prop it up. We're not going to say it's okay because it's not okay. She doesn't like the opposition, but the opposition is where the sense and the truth are. She wants to lie to herself and she wants to lie to her audience. Girl World, we're not putting up with her nonsense. We're not going to accept it. We're going to call her out for it. If she does negative actions such as this, we're going to say that it's negative, that it's bad, and she can just get over it. If you don't want people to say negative things about you, then don't do a bunch of fuckery on camera, because nobody's going to praise you for that. Normal, sane people who know better, that have a conscience, that know right from wrong, no one's going to praise somebody hurting themselves in any fashion. We're just not going to do it. It should not be done. Nobody should be propping up or praising somebody hurting themselves in any degree. You hear that, Beezers? I'm talking to you. I'm looking dead at you. Those of you that say you care about Chantal, I'm looking at you. I'm staring at you. Are you uncomfortable? Be uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. Those of you propping up Chantal and praising Chantal, shame on all of you. If something were to happen to her and she ends up in the hospital or the morgue, don't you get on YouTube and start crying or giving those fake alligator tears and saying, it's so sad. We loved her so much. Yeah, you loved her to death, literally to death. Anybody over there talking about food with Chantal, mentioning food to her, you might as well just go to the nearest hardware store, buy a shovel, and go to the nearest graveyard and start digging a hole. You are helping the end to come faster. And I don't care what you have to say. It is messed up to prop up and encourage an addict in their addiction and enable it. It is. It's messed up. Shame on you. Shame. Shame. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Ridiculous. If that's the kind of love you guys have for Chantal, that's the bad kind of love. That ain't love at all. You're trolling her to death. I don't know if you guys want a medical event on live. It seems like you do. That maybe you're hoping for that to happen. Even as a reactor to Chantal, I don't like her. I don't want to see it. I do not want to see her have a heart attack or a stroke on camera, but I guess some of you morbid fucks over there do. You're pushing for that. I don't want to see it. I think it would be too traumatic for YouTube. Like, nobody wants to witness that, but you guys are really trying to make that happen, aren't you?
Bog trotter.
So I think those are all ones. I tried. Man, so
Shut up. And the fact that this video is monetized, her video is monetized. I'm not monetized yet. Maybe one day. It's just that just YouTube is.
Hold on a second. Wait. I'm confused. Why aren't you monetized? Hold on a minute. I'm gonna look at something. Well, you've got enough subscribers. Is it because of your 4,000 watch hours? You'll get it, sir. You'll get the 4,000 watch hours. I promise you. Now that word is getting around about you, you'll get the 4,000 watch hours and you can get monetized. But you're absolutely correct, sir. She's monetized. This is monetized. YouTube will monetize this. But the crazy thing about her content, the crazy thing about us reactors reacting to her, she can do this buggery on YouTube, this nonsense, and make money. But yet those of us that are just simply reacting to Chantal, we're just talking about it. We're not doing it. YouTube is a funny place. There's certain words that the bots look for, even verbal. If they hear the words, if they hear a little bit of profanity in the wrong place, they will yellow $ your video or red $. They'll ding us for just talking about it. We're not committing the act, but we're talking about it. There's more penalty for us than someone like her that might be triggering people. It's madness, absolute madness. But don't worry about your watch hours. You're going to get those, sir. I promise you, in short order.
YouTube is just very lax about what gets monetized on its platform, and I just wish that people would see that this is just not healthy. And I've been there, I've done that. I've got the 6XL t-shirt. This is a 3XL, by the way. Oh, God, absolutely disgusting.
Dessert, savory spices, like spices you would use for savory. Baked in alphabet for you. I'm gonna try this. Your eyes will roll to the back of your head.
I
When
doubt
they just
it.
make it and they're serving it at the store. I should have filmed that. There's a huge cheese bowl.
She didn't go to the bakery. Her other half did.
Yeah.
Like, I'll buy all these cakes for you, love. Don't worry.
Yeah, she doesn't like to go out in public. She makes him do everything. That's basically Salah's purpose. You go get the food. You help me with simple things like put my shoes on, and I'll pay you for that and be my on-camera husband. It's a business deal. Her job is to do this content and make the money. His job is to take care of her so she can continue to indulge in her addiction. That's basically what's up.
She's going to go in for round 2 off camera for sure.
We got another.
Yeah, like you could tell she's holding back, James. You could tell she's holding back. Like, she wants to go for it. She really wants to just go to town, but she's being very careful. She's walking on thin ice with YouTube as it is, and she doesn't want to go too far. So my bet is on the Mamoul. I think because they're small and she can pop them in her mouth really quick, those got nerfed first. And then she moved on to the thing on the far left. That was next. And then the cake was 3rd and 4th place. Like, she saved that for last because they're very, very sweet and very, very dense. But that Mamoul got nerfed. The dessert on the far right, that was next in line. And she might have taken a break and then moved on to the other stuff. All of that stuff was gone within one night.
bigger tray of mamul. This one is just a small one for the video. And for us to
She's
just
sharing it with me, myself, and I, her 3 different personalities.
keep here. Because traditionally, this is what you would eat for celebrations like Eid. So, thank you very much for watching this. I just wanted to explain a little bit.
Thank you for putting me off my breakfast. I really appreciate it. I'm now going to sit and meditate while I contemplate the fact that people like Foodie Beauty are able to make money from harming their body. Absolutely wonderful stuff.
I didn't even know the story of. Don't remember the story of Abraham and Ishmael. I went to a Catholic.
You know what, Chantal? Shut up. Nobody wants to hear anything spiritual from you. You're not a spiritual person. You're not living in a spiritual way. You're just bringing up this stuff at the same time you're committing gluttony as a Muslim woman. That's completely haram. So if you want to sit there and do haram, just do it. Don't act like all-knowing spiritual Foodie Beauty. It ain't working. Okay? Just, it's not.
Like church. And I did learn,
School.
you know, cateches. I forget what it's called in English, but basically you study your religion. But I don't remember the whole story.
She's such a bilingual queen. She can't even remember the words in English. She's actually that clever.
About that.
Well, you know what, James? Her French is trash. Her French, and she was living in Canada. Her French is such trash. And here's a little bit of history lore about Foodie. She took a job where she had to answer phones. One of the requirements was that she could speak fluent French. She lost that job. She got fired from that job because she could not speak fluent French. So she's acting like she's bilingual. She's really not. And again, she's been in Kuwait for 2 years and she does nothing all day. In the time that she's been in Kuwait, she could have learned to speak and write Arabic. She could have learned to speak better French. She could have learned a lot of things in her spare time, and she's learned nothing. She's not bettered herself.
But it's basically, symbolizing Abraham's obedience to God when he was asked to sacrifice his son Ishmael.
Shut up.
He was willing to do that, and today, Muslims everywhere are willing to sacrifice.
The hilarity of it all. She's sitting here talking about something spiritual and sacrifice. At the same time, she's not sacrificing. Well, she is. She's sacrificing more of her health, but sitting there committing absolute ridiculous gluttony on Eid. Of all days, Eid. You couldn't wait another day, Chantal? Couldn't wait a day.
An animal. I think it's, usually a sheep as a symbol of that.
And what are you willing to sacrifice, Foodie? Please tell us what you're willing to sacrifice.
Absolute. Well, you know what, James? She has made some sacrifices. Yes, she has. Our girl has sacrificed things, but not the things she should have. Things she should have kept. Things she should have looked at as being valuable. She has sacrificed friendships with people that actually cared about her. Ties with her family. Like, she's really damaged that. She has sacrificed having pets that were absolutely loyal to her and loving to her. She gave up BBJ and Sam, and she neglected them. The cat distribution system took those cats back because she was a bad owner. Unfortunately, Julie is now with her and not being taken care of, so I'm sure the cat distribution system will take that cat back as well. She's been given so many gifts, so many priceless things that because they didn't revolve around men or food, she let go of them. She sacrificed all of the good things that mattered, that could have made a positive difference. She got rid of all of that stuff, and she just hung on to the things that were really bad for her.
It doesn't look like you've sacrificed anything except your own health, you absolute bint.
We shared it before, people who are hungry, also as an act of charity, which Islam is also big on. So, yeah, I hope that wasn't too confusing of an explanation, and I hope you liked seeing these Arabic desserts. Now, there's a lot of different ones. Like for Ramadan, they make different ones. It just depends. But traditionally, for the Islamic,
look at her touching the dessert like she's like, touching the dessert like, look, 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 look at her face. I'm telling you, that Mamool is going first. She keeps looking at it like, just wait till I turn the camera off. I'm going to nerf all of you. Like, she just can't keep her eyes off the food. And you know what else I'm noticing? Like, normally when you eat and you're full, what do? What is your reaction? Like, with your plate, you push it away from you. That's your way of, your body's way of saying, I don't want to smell it. I don't want to look at it. We're done here. She ain't doing that. But look at the way she's looking at that food. She ain't done. She is not done. That Mamool is going first.
Celebrations, the mamul, the different kinds of mamul are very popular. And yeah, so these are like everyday ones you can get every day.
Yeah.
Kanafa.
Shut up. Right, I think we're done here.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry about the video today. I'm completely pissed off.
I don't blame you, sir. I don't blame you.
I just can't believe that she's actually done a video so self-destructive. And if this influences anybody, which I hope it doesn't, then she has a lot to answer for sure. So yes, I hope you enjoyed the video.
Well, thank you for doing the react, James, because without you being here with me and both of us staying calm, I don't know if I could react. I don't know if I could react to this. I can't do this on my own, you know. So you're here, so that makes it a bit better. You know, you're adding the cheek and the humor that helps. Normally I don't react to her food videos because they're trash, and I just don't want to show her hurting herself. So I'm glad that you were here. And I also did this to introduce you further to my audience. And I really do recommend that everybody check out Mr. Brightman, James, and his channel, because I really do like his vibe. Very calm, very sensible, with a dash of cheek. We always love the cheek. Sometimes you have to have the cheek just to make some of this funny, because sometimes it's not funny. So please check him out. I'm going to leave a link for the original video down below in the video description, and sub up to him, because you got to know Chantal, she's going to eyeball James if she hasn't already, and be on his channel in his comments. And I hope that she doesn't really give you too much trouble, James, but if she does, just remember, if she's bothering you, you must be doing something right, and she's worried. And she's going to have nothing to say to you, because she likes to say to all of us, well, you guys don't understand, and who are you to judge me? And you don't have knowledge about diabetes, but yet you do. And on top of that, you have firsthand knowledge about food issues, so that's a double whammy. But I'm really glad you did this today. Really glad to sit down and react to you today. And I hope that you have a great day. And I hope that soon you get the 4,000 watch hours and you're able to get monetized, because you really do deserve to get to that level, sir. But I think it's going to happen. More and more people are taking notice of you in Girl World. Word is getting around. The reactors are talking about you. So I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful for you. Like, you're a sensible voice in Girl World, and I love that. I really love that. So that's it for today, everybody. I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys have a great day. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.